So, good morning. In this video, we're going to um, have a video recording presentation for the defense of our problem-based learning. So, any written or printed composition of any length is called a book. So, a book covers all kinds of printed reading materials, all kinds of reading materials in any form. So, the book serves the purpose of readers, whether for general recreational reading or for study and research, or for more consultation as a source of information. On the other hand, a reference book is usually consulted briefly to determine a specific information. So, it is important to note that every library must have a variety of reference books so that students can have reliable information and ideas and can refer and can get answers for their questions or clarifications regarding a certain topic, and most especially can help them in their research. A reference book can help them in their research. So it would be a great help for students, and if they can find a reference, or if they can find a variety of reference books for research inside the library.
To produce an intelligent, knowledgeable, and competent students, schools should have enough reading materials for the students, not only for English subject but also for Filipino subject. How can they fully learn Filipino subject if there were no enough reading materials for them to learn and discover things for their lifelong learnings? Number one problem of school is the lack of reference book for Filipino subject, specifically the research book, that is really essential for the students in discovering things on their own. This research book could help them as a guide in discovering some best information that could help them in their studies.
Many students are having a hard time when they are looking for a reference books that can be used in their research study because libraries are not available everywhere, and even if there is an available library in school, still it lacks on a reference books that can be used by the students on their specific study or purpose.
Number one, exploring the issue. Hardship in looking for the reference book about research, specifically Aklat sa Pananaliksik sa Filipino or research book in Filipino language. Internet-based reference or research ideas and information are not 100% reliable or accurate. Borrowing books about research or about pananaliksik sa Filipino is hard to find and borrow. Students had to buy their own research book since there is no research book available in school library. Books are not Books are not the top priority among Filipino students. Libraries are not available everywhere. And reading books is not a habit for Filipino learners. Number 2, listing what we know. We suggest to look for some books regarding research or pananaliksik sa Filipino and put it in co-ed library. We want to reduce the use of internet as reference for research since it is not 100% reliable and accurate. Have some Filipino research book samples from the previous students and place it in the library. Look for a Filipino research book through online shops or in a national bookstore. asked some Filipino teacher if they could let students borrow their old research book in a few days. We suggest that Filipino teacher in a particular school should conduct a solicitation letter to have money for buying more books.
The lack of reference book for Filipino subject, especially reference book for a research or pananaliksik sa Filipino, lead us to look for books about research that is updated or latest release in the bookstore. Number one major problem with the school is lack of reference book for Filipino subject, specifically in research, which can help as a guide in doing a research for Filipino, especially those students who's taking Filipino as their specialization. So we decided to purchase a Filipino research and book in order to help these students who's having a hard time to look for a research book in the library, or those students who are incapable of purchasing their own research book. It is really a big problem for the students conducting a research study to look for different reference books in the library to collect information or data regarding the topic or title, because books in the school libraries are still not sufficient enough to give a wide range of information to their learners because of limited books that is available in the school libraries, especially in Filipino subject. So our problem statement is the lack of reference book for Filipino subject, especially the reference book for research or aklat sa pananaliksik sa Filipino and co-ed library. The possible solutions that we have is to look for books available from the bookstore. It can be through online store or e-commerce store such as Shopee and Lazada, or it can be also through the online website of National Bookstore or Fully Booked Store book sale, or can be through the store of National Bookstore Fully Booked Store book sale, and purchase the chosen books through online portals and have it shipped here in the province. Another possible solution that we have is to conduct a solicitation letter for alumni of Filipino majors graduated in UAP Maine.
The fifth step in problem-based learning is the actions to be taken with a timeline. So the first action to be taken that we did is to look for books available from the bookstore through online platforms such as online store or online website. So we have done this last February 8 to February 9, 2021. So for remarks and or comments, things to consider in looking for books. So we have the title, the author, the date released in the market, and the book price. So next action is to visit the physical store of the following bookstore: National Bookstore, Fully Book, or Book Sale. It was due last February 10, 2021 rather. So in here, we will ask other people in Manila to visit a store and look for books and consider the following details: title and author, date release in the market, and the book price. So the next action is to consolidate the data and information of every members of the group. So this was done last February 11, and the final output must be to finalize the book to be purchased and to consider the book price, the shipping fee, in order to finalize the contribution of every members of the group. So the next action that is to be taken is the chosen research book is Komunikasyon at Pananaliksik sa Wika at Kulturang Pilipino, and this was done last February 12, and we have noted the book price to 440 pesos with a shipping fee of 180 pesos, and the total amount is 620 pesos. So the 620 pesos is to be divided by 3 for the 3 members of the group, and so therefore every member of the group will contribute the amount 200 pesos to cover the book price and the shipping fee. So step for the fifth action is to purchase the book and have it shipped here in the province. So this was done last February 12, and the book was purchased by Mary Grace Branzuela, my sister, and she is in Manila right now, and she have it shipped here through JNT. So next is to ship the research book here in the province. So this was from February 13 to February 20. It is the shipment process. So sometimes it took 7 to 8 days before the item or the parcel will arrive here in the province. So from Manila to Samar, it will take 7 to 8 days for the shipment process. So the last action is to give the research book to co-ed library. So this is to be done after the final defense, and for as long as the book has arrived, I'm going to send it there in the co-ed library. So next step is what the sixth step, and this is what do we need to know. So in purchasing the book, we need to consider the financial capability of every member of the group. So we need to consider the shipment process after the purchase, and we need to consider where to buy the book. So in this step, we did consider the following. So first is, where are we going to buy the book, how much is the book, how much is the shipping fee, and before we agreed to purchase such a certain book, so we did check first the financial capability of every member of the group. So since everyone agreed to purchase the book, so and for the 200 pesos contribution of every member of the group. So another thing that we did consider is we can purchase books in Fully Bookstore that is located in Makati, Metro Manila, where there are research books available, and we can also purchase research book through online shop like Shopee and Lazada, and purchase Filipino research book in National Books or RX Bookstore. So what we did in purchasing the book is I have asked my sister to buy the book in Shopee and have it delivered in her place in Manila where she lives, and then from the moment that she received the book or the parcel, then she's going to send it here. She's going to send it to me through JNT, and it will take 7 to 8 days for the parcel to arrive here in the province. So the next step is solutions or recommendation. So first is our problem statement. The lack of reference book in co-ed library for Filipino subject, especially the reference book for research or Aklat sa Pananaliksik sa Filipino. So, what is our solution? So, what is our solution to the problem? It is to help those students who's having difficulties for Filipino research book in the library. We came up to a solution that we are going to purchase Filipino research book through online and donate it in the co-ed library. So for the process, so the first thing that we did in finding the solution to the problem is where to find the reference research books in Filipino. So we tried to look at
we tried to look for it in online, and we found that there are so many books that can be found online for online, such as in Google, but also in online shopping store as well. There are research books that are available, research book for Filipino that are available online. So we found out that there are research books in Lazada, in Shopee, in National Bookstore website, the Fully Bookstore website, and also we found out that in other store, the physical store of National Bookstore in Manila, in SM, uh, there are also other research books that are available. So then, one of us suggests different books to be purchased and come up to a certain book that contains ideas and information that are helpful in choosing the topic to study and research, and many more. So after finding different kinds of research books in Filipino, we come up to, or we have decided, the group members had decided that we're going to choose the Komunikasyon at Pananaliksik sa Wika at Kulturang Pilipino. This kind of research book is available in Shopee, and this book contains different ideas and information on what kind of topic or what kind of topic to that to be certain book that contains information helpful, yes, what kind of topic to choose, especially in dealing with um, research, especially for Filipino. So next, after choosing one book, so we can only afford one book, because this Komunikasyon sa Pananaliksik sa Wika at Kulturang Pilipino cost, the price of this book is 440 pesos plus shipping fee. So we opt to choose only one research book for Filipino. So next is we discuss the expenses of the book and the shipping fee that we're going to so the next is we have discussed the expenses, so the book, the shipping fee, and we also did consider the shipment process. So it will take 7 to 8 days for the parcel to arrive here in Samar. Alright, so recommendation. So we recommend to other students, or to upcoming fourth year BSED Filipino students in co-ed to donate also one book for Filipino subject to the library before they graduate. So that the library and co-ed will have variety of reference book and different kinds of books, especially for Filipino subjects, because in Filipino it's really hard to find a reference book or book about about Filipino.